Hey there everyone, welcome back to another episode of No Man's Sky. I'm Captain Beefy. This is the Game Vault. We're going to talk about freighters again, but this time we're going to talk about derelict freighters and why you should be farming these on a regular basis and what they're all about. Yesterday we talked about freighters, frigates, living frigates, capital ships, the difference between them, how to find them all, and how to get S-class capital ships and freighters no matter where you go. Today, this one's going to supplement that and show you how to beef these things up immensely. So let's cue up the music and we'll get right to it. Alright, first thing we're going to talk about is how do you actually find a derelict freighter? Well, you need something that's called an emergency signal scanner, right there. And the way you get those is on every space station, both regular and pirate stations, you have a scrap dealer. And this is where he's located on a regular space station. He's located on the same side of the space station on a pirate station just a little further back. So he's there. You'll talk to him and you're going to ask for coordinates. Costs $5 million for the first one. So we're just going to buy one, even though we have a bunch. Now if you want to buy multiples, they go up in price fairly rapidly. Look at that, double the price, right? So don't worry, it's not like that permanently. Every day it resets. So you know, if you only want to buy one day and then buy one the next day, whatever. But for 5 million units a day, you can farm one derelict freighter. Now there is another way to get it, and that's on the anomaly. So let me head over to the anomaly and I'll show you where you can locate them there. Okay, the other place we can get them on the anomaly is to the right hand side of the Nexus when you're getting off your ship. You come up and see Groot here, Helios, and you can talk to him, and sometimes, I think once a week you can get one from him. I'm not sure if I'll be able to do it today, but we're going to try it. Give data. Yeah, that's all I can do right now. So I get some nanites, but he'll have one available once a week. So you can come check with him weekly and get a freebie, which is kind of cool. Yeah, because they do get expensive pretty quick. So let me show you how to use them, and I'm going to show you what a derelict freighter is all about and why it's so darn good. Alright, so to find one of these things, we need to activate the emergency signal scanner. We're going to do that. Then we're going to hit our pulse drive, just like we're looking for a, use an anomaly detector or whatever. And we're going to wait for it to locate an emergency broadcast, and when it does, we drop out of space, and here it is, man. So you want to come in for a landing, you land right on top of it. Now before we get out of the ship, I want to talk about a couple things here. One, it's cold. So if you got cold protection, you want to make sure it's charged up. If you don't have cold protection, you may want to get some, or at least be ready with a lot of sodium to refill your shield. There are ways to warm yourself up on board, but they can be unreliable sometimes, and at a crucial moment, if you're not paying attention, you could end up freezing to death. Two, there's a lot of combat involved on some of these, not all of them. And this one I happen to find is the best one I found because it involves a minimal amount of combat and you get a great bonus at the end of it. Another thing you want to realize is you cannot run on these and you cannot use your jetpack. So you're kind of reduced to a slog. It almost feels like the old style, survivor horror games, the way you move around in these things. So you're going to enter in and you'll see immediately it's cold. But all around the ship, you're going to find these heaters right here. And you can just turn them on, stand next to them, and it'll keep you warm. Now, before you do anything else and get on board the vessel, This right here is a supply chest. You can claim this and get 3 repair kits out of it every single time. Now here's a little exploit for the game. If I wanted to, I could go right back to my ship now, hop on, reactivate the same emergency beacon, and go to another derelict freighter, which will be exactly the same. These are procedurally generated. There's one per star system, and get another 3. And I could do that as many times as I want. I can get thousands of these if I wanted to spend a day doing it. I don't want to spend a day doing it, but I'm just saying that's one way you can do that. That's kind of an exploit. So just a heads up there, if you're about to go through the center of the galaxy and, you know, a lot of stuff gets broken there, you might want to get some of these just in case. It's up to you. Alright, so we're going to open the door. And we're going to go inside. We'll override the gravity. The hazard. We'll get the emergency supplies, why not? And we'll unseal the door. So, it takes a little bit. We got some ammunition. We got a life support gel ×3, ion battery. So we got a lot of good stuff to take on board. And you see now we're moving fairly slowly. When I push the, push into run, it's not much faster. Okay. So let's look around this place. We've got, I always recommend scanning a room when you go into it because it's going to show you where everything is that you can interact with and open up, right? So you've got lockers like this. You've got log snippets laying around like that. There's one on top of this box. You got these blue boxes, which are very, very good, and we'll talk about that in a second. Then you've got your wonderful briefcases over here. And of course, like I said earlier, we got heating units to keep us warm. Now, if you look around, you're going to see above doors, you're going to see little signs in either blue or purple. Purple ones lead to dead-end areas, okay? And that's not a bad thing, I'm just saying. If you want to fully explore these things and get every zone mapped out, you're going to want to go through a purple door before you go through a blue door. Sometimes these purple doors will have some goodies on the other side that you can go ahead and take. So let's pop down in there. When we do a scan, you see we got 3 briefcases and a big box. So we'll pop all these open. This is a great way to get units, great way to get nanites, a great way to get things that get you nanites, tainted metal, for instance. It's also a good way to find weird things that you may need to farm in other ways that aren't quite as easy. You can get a lot of storm crystals in these things. You can get the living pearls, Hadal cores, hypnotic eyes, tons of stuff, and all that's good. So you can get little oxygen things running around too. All that's good, but one of the greatest things you can find on these is a salvaged frigate module. You can also find blueprints for your base building, which is kind of cool. Now, these are blueprints that are unique to the derelict freighter, and there's stuff like these shelving units here, different things that you find on board, like boxes and so forth. So, some cool stuff if you want to add a little flavor to your base or your freighter. This is the place to find it. I usually ignore the log snippets anymore. I don't bother with them because I've done it enough. I know what I get out of it. And quite frankly, the time it takes to read those just annoys me and slows me down. So I pretty much just go through and open everything up. Now, before I leave a room, I'm going to do a quick scan. It's going to show me if I missed anything, and I can see I missed 2 boxes over there. You can see the little indicator of the boxes, so go ahead and pop those. A couple more nanites, and what else? And a Starship Shield module. You get some crappy modules too, and some good ones maybe, But the real bonus is what you get at the end of these, and we're going to look at that here in a minute. So far, this is what I've picked up, and this belongs here. Okay. So I pulled all my tainted metal off before I got on board, because I kind of wanted to see how many I got while I'm doing this, and I got 26 so far. Everything else here is what I've earned. You know, not a lot of great stuff, but, you know, hypnotic eyes. That's not worth much. But you'll find all kinds of random weird stuff on these guys. So I'm going to go through and clean out this entire derelict freighter, and then we will meet up again toward the end. And I'll show you if there's anything interesting that happens while I'm on board. Like, oh, there we go, combat. So you can find those types of creatures there. Those little weird green jellyfish. You can find robotic turrets and small spherical robots that will try to fight you. And you can also find these gross aliens, these cosmic horrors, that they can be a little bit challenging. Now, I've been on this one before. This is the best I've found as far as derelict freighters go. The best one I found in the game so far, and that's saying a lot because I look for these a lot, and I've played a buttload of hours. So, you know, I'll give you the address here at the end so that you can come farm this one on your own. It doesn't have a lot of combat. It mainly, you know, but it has a lot of boxes. And the best part is, at the ending, you get a good bonus. And I'll show you that when we get to it. So, like I said, I'm going to cut out now. I'm going to completely explore this place and get back to you, and we'll catch up at the end. Alright, so we're entering the last room now. You can see zones map 10 of 10. I'm going to stick around with you guys in this one. That's all we've faced as far as enemies go, is those little jellyfish in this one. And like I said, those guys are the absolute easiest ones to combat. You do find tons of projectile ammunition while doing these missions, so that's always a plus. If you're running low on projectile ammunition, don't bother making any before you come here. Just, you know, come in with a handful and open a couple boxes. Next thing you know, you're going to have tons of it. You saw we picked up some storm crystals. We'll look at everything we got in a minute after we finish it off. So did I miss any boxes? No. Nope, nope. Okay, so at the end you're going to come up to this computer here, and you're going to enter into it, and it's going to give you a choice. So, 3 things you can do. You can fabricate a technology upgrade, which will get you a module for your freighter. This is the only way that you can get these in the game. You don't buy them from any traders or anything like that, any outposts. I've never had one randomly drop from anything. I can only fabricate them here. You can also fabricate freighter bulkheads. Now, okay, that's cool, but you can get those by doing, you know, anytime you warp and you go into a freighter battle, you can get a free one of those by not buying the freighter. They'll just give you one of those instead, a little bit of gold and some nanites, or you can extract basic nanites themselves. Unless you've got all of your upgrades to the best they can be for your freighter, I recommend getting the technology upgrade, which we're going to do. And now these things, of course, come from C class to S class. This one happens to be an S class, and it's not at random. It's because I have looked long and hard for a system like this with a freighter like this, and it was well worth it in the end. So this is a deployable freighter upgrade. Can be redeployed, blah, blah, blah. This one does what? Fleet beacon. Okay, it's one of these here. Expedition speed. So that'll make my expeditions a little bit quicker. So, okay, we got that pulled. Fantastic, we're done. Go ahead and teleport back up. Right to the very top where we came in. Now we can suddenly run again. We still can't fly. We won't be able to fly anywhere on board this, but we can run at least back to our ship, hop in, and go. Now, what did we get out of all this? Let's take a look. I'm not going to be able to tell you the nanites and the units because I didn't really count those. It doesn't matter. But we got 222 tainted metal. That's why I threw it on my starship before we got to moving. That translates 2 to 1 to nanites, so I basically have 444 nanites there if I choose to break them down. We got those repair kits in the beginning, some ferrite dust, tons of ammo, neural ducts, we got, $1.5 million worth, or units worth. Another, descended bottles are garbage. Imperfect bones, nothing special there. But we got some hypnotic eyes. Another crappy shield module we can break down or sell. Storm crystals, which are nice. Hadal cores. Jumble of ornate loot. That's worth a little bit of money. Occasionally you'll get some of these guys, these little relics and whatnot. Larval cores. How many? 4 of those. 1.3 million here on the hallucinogenic hatchlings. The Corvette casing. And of course the salvaged fleet beacon, which is the reason we went there. So this is, like I said, the perfect system to do this in, because every time you go in there, and these are generated, every time you enter a system, you're going to generate it for the first time. So every time I farm this derelict freighter, and I can go do it again right now, I will get an S-class module at the end, over and over and over again. And I'll do that until they're all full, and then if I need cargo ones, I'll farm cargo ones. Otherwise, I'll farm, and get nanites at the end. Although at this point, it's really not worth it. I just, once I get all the modules, I'm set. So let's take a look at where we are so that you guys can locate this yourselves. Let me try and put that against something a little darker. There we go. Go ahead and take a screenshot of that if you haven't done so already. Build a base in this system if you come here. Slap down a base computer, build yourself a little mini base, call it S-Class Derelict Freighter, whatever it takes to remind you. Because these things, like I said, they are hard to come by. I went through dozens of these looking for one that gives you an S-Class at the end, and I was triply lucky because it has a decent amount of boxes in it, and it has very low enemy count. It's not dangerous at all, so you're not worried about fighting your way through it and all that. It can be done very quickly. If all you want is the module, you just go in and run it 2 or 3 times. You'll have the path memorized. You could be in and out of there in less than, I think I did it in 30 or 45 seconds at the most, something like that. I mean, really, really fast. You can just zip through it, boom, get out, jump in your ship, fly a little bit, activate another emergency beacon, go in, do it again, do it again, do it again, do it again, and just farm the crap out of it. Not worry about all the other stuff. But the other stuff's kind of cool and can be very helpful. So if you found this video useful at all, please leave a like on it down below. That is greatly appreciated. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and ring that bell for notifications. I do these videos pretty much daily. Why do we have this? So, yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Until then, peace.